Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're really putting ourselves on the clock. Our mission is all about urgency. How fast can we actually get our hands on the most essential micronutrients? We're talking critical B vitamins and, yeah, specifically B12 plus those indispensable trace minerals. And the constraint, we need them sourced or produced from start to finish in under 30 days. This isn't long-term thinking. It's about rapid nutritional security.
It's a great challenge, and it's so important because the things we're prioritizing, they're they are the absolute bedrock of your health. And, the consequences of lacking them are pretty profound. Just take B12 or Coabalan. It's just non-negotiable.
So why does this one tiny vitamin get so much attention?
Because B12 is the linchpin. It's the linchpin for your entire operational system. It's absolutely essential for producing healthy red blood cells. That's what prevents things like megaloblastic anemia. And it's crucial for DNA synthesis. But really, the big one is that it maintains nerve cell function. Most adults only need about 2.4 micrograms a day. It's a microscopic amount, but if you miss it, your whole internal OS starts to fail.
That's
Yeah.
that's terrifying. It's not just feeling a little tired. It sounds like your body is actively, breaking down.
That's precisely right. A B12 deficiency leads to profound fatigue, weakness, and some really serious neurological issues. We're talking numbness, maybe tingling in the hands and feet, serious problems with balance, and cognitive issues like memory fog. You might even see physical signs, pale skin or glossitis, which is where your tongue gets swollen and painful. So the stakes are very, very high.
Okay, now let's frame the other half of our target here. Trace minerals. We only need tiny amounts, but why the urgency?
They're the indispensable cofactors. Think of them as the tiny wrenches and catalysts that make all our internal enzymes actually work. They're vital for energy production. They're central to immune defense. I'm talking zinc, copper, selenium, and of course, iron. You need that for oxygen transport. If you get all the B vitamins you need, but you're missing these minerals, well, those vitamins can't even be used efficiently.
All right, let's unpack this. Before we even get to the speed part, which is our main thing today, we need to set the goalposts. What are the absolute undisputed champions, the sources with the most concentrated B12 and minerals, no matter how long they take?
Right. So the highest B12 concentrations, they're overwhelmingly in animal products, specifically marine life and organ meats. Shellfish are simply unmatched. Clams, for example, lead the B12 charts with 84.1 micrograms per 3-ounce serving.
Wait, 84.1, hold on. If we only need 2.4 micrograms a day, that single serving is what? Over 3,500% of the daily value? That's not a food source, that's an emergency reserve.
It's nutritional overkill, yes. But that concentration just shows why these sources are so incredibly reliable. Oysters are equally impressive. They don't quite hit that B12 level, but they are zinc superstars. You're getting 32 milligrams in just 6 raw oysters. That's 400% of your daily zinc needs, which is, crucial for immune function.
So if you were building a civilization from scratch, and the only goal was nutrient density, marine life would be your primary industry.
Absolutely. And organ meats aren't far behind. Beef liver is exceptionally dense. It has about 70.6 micrograms of B12 per 100 grams. And it's this phenomenal package deal loaded with copper, iron, and folate, which is B9. Even oily fish, like sardines, they punch way above their weight. 7.6 micrograms of B12 per 3 ounces, plus iron and selenium.
Okay, so let's flip to the plant world, which is the challenge zone for B12. Where are we finding the most concentrated trace minerals, the zinc, the iron?
Pumpkin seeds are a clear mineral superstar. 100 grams gives you 94% of your daily phosphorus and a huge 69% of your zinc. And they also have B1, B5, and folate. They're like little nutritional bricks.
And what about leafy greens, the fast-growing stuff?
Spinach is the standard bearer there. It's extremely rich in folate, B9, and other crucial B vitamin. And for our mission, it really backs up the trace mineral goal. High levels of iron and zinc, plus the other staples like calcium, magnesium, copper, potassium. It's a great companion source. So this brings us right to the essential question for our deep dive. We know the highest concentrations are in these slow-to-produce animal sources. How do we get these nutrients quickly, especially B12, inside our 30-day window?
This is where we stop admiring the clams and start becoming practical micro-gardeners. We need rapid turnaround crops. What are the fastest, most feasible options that are ready to harvest in, 3 weeks or less?
We have to turn immediately to microgreens and sprouts. They have the highest feasibility and the fastest turnaround, usually between 7 and 21 days. The absolute quickest, ready in just 5 to 7 days, are mung bean sprouts.
Mung sprouts are unbelievably fast. but you said they have measurable B12. Now, hang on. If B12 is mostly an animal nutrient, how reliable is this zero point 0.7 micrograms per 100 grams from a sprout? Is the plant actually producing it?
That's a critical question.
And
And no, it's not intrinsic to the bean itself. The B12 comes from the growth environment. It's a consequence of naturally occurring microorganisms, specific bacteria, that colonize the seeds while they're germinating, the same kind of bacteria you'd find in healthy soil.
so we're essentially relying on a bacterial colonization event for our B12. Is there a risk of contamination with a home setup, or is this a pretty reliable process if you're clean?
It is reliable if you maintain basic hygiene, proper rinsing, proper draining. The rapid growth cycle actually encourages this beneficial flora to colonize. You can think of it as a natural, tiny fermentation that's happening during the sprouting. Plus, even if the B12 yield is a bit variable, mung sprouts are undeniable powerhouses for minerals. We're talking the very high levels of iron, up to 68 milligrams per 100 grams, and folate.
That makes them the perfect rapid mineral source. Okay, what's another great quick microgreen option?
Broccoli microgreens, they're also giants, and they're harvest ready in about 7 to 14 days. And this is where the whole density oversize concept really shines. Research shows broccoli microgreens have 5 times the nutrition of the mature plant on a weight basis.
5 times. Why such a huge multiplier?
It's because you harvest them right at the cotyledon stage, before the first true leaves emerge. All the stored energy and nutrients the seed was going to use to grow into a big plant are concentrated in those 2 tiny first leaves. They're just packed with B6, selenium, iron, and zinc. And there are others too. Radish sprouts, 5 to 10 days, good for B6 and B9. And beetroot sprouts, which has some of the highest zinc, iron, and magnesium levels of all the sprouts we looked at.
Okay, this is where I have to challenge the premise a little. Our goal is rapid production. If we're relying on a slightly inconsistent bacterial process in sprouts for B12, what is the instant solution?
And that is where we bring in the commercially fortified option, nutritional yeast.
So we're cheating, right? The mission was to source or produce it fast. This is just buying a processed supplement. How is that part of a deep dive on production?
I see it as the integrated reality of the 30-day timeline. Yes, the yeast itself is fermented industrially, but it is instantly available to you. It's the fastest B12 solution possible. It serves as the immediate insurance policy. 1 tablespoon gives you up to 5 micrograms of bioavailable B12. That's 30% of what you need. It perfectly complements the fresh, mineral-rich sprouts we can grow ourselves.
Okay, that's fair. It's the essential stopgap while we wait the 7 days for our microfarm to get going. So let's quickly run through the operational steps. Using those 7-day mung sprouts as the example, how simple is this?
The whole cycle is less than a wink. Day 0 or 1, you start by soaking the mung beans for 12 to 24 hours. That wakes them up. Days 1 through 3, you drain them, put them in an angled jar. And the crucial part, rinse and drain them thoroughly twice a day. That's the germination phase.
And the constant rinsing prevents mold, but it also helps with that bacterial colonization for the B12, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
It keeps the environment clean and moist, but not stagnant. Then, days 5 to 7, you harvest when the root and the first leaves appear. For microgreens like broccoli, it's a bit different. You spread the seeds on moist media, keep them dark for a few days to get strong roots, then give them light for about 12 hours a day until they're ready. And a pro tip, for the highest nutrient density, harvest everything in the morning.
Let's dedicate a moment to the trade-off. We have our 7-day heroes, but we should look at what pushes that 30-day limit. These are the solutions that show us the difference between, raw speed and actual consistency.
Absolutely. That 30-day limit forces us away from reliability. A good example is tempeh, fermented soybeans. The fermentation itself is short, maybe 18 to 24 hours. But the full setup, the soaking, the cooking, inoculation, it pushes the whole thing closer to 2 or 3 weeks.
And the B12 yield there, more reliable than sprouts.
It can be, but it's hard to guarantee at home. Tempeh can naturally produce a pretty wide range of B12, maybe 0.7 to 8 micrograms per 100 grams. But to really ensure you get enough, you need a very controlled temperature and critically specific bacteria added to the starter culture. Without that specific starter, the B12 level can be super inconsistent, or just not enough.
So if we stretch this mission from 30 days to, say, 6 months, what's the undisputed winner for reliable, continuous, high nutrient turnover, the thing that needs minimal effort once it's established?
That takes us right back to the animal kingdom. Eggs. Yes, the chickens themselves take 18 to 22 weeks, so about 4.5 months, to start laying. But once they're in production, the yield is almost daily. That gives you a continuous, reliable source of B12, selenium, and zinc for minimal effort per unit.
So the lesson is clear. For maximum speed, we rely on these more fragile systems like sprouts and their bacteria. For maximum reliability, we just have to accept a longer lead time.
Exactly. And for 30-day plant turnover, spinach is a great example of maximizing yield once you get going. Full maturity takes 40 to 50 days, but you can harvest baby spinach in 20 to 30, and you use what's called cut and come again harvesting. You can continuously take leaves without killing the plant, which means you get production for weeks after that initial hurdle. So if we connect all this back to the bigger picture, the most robust, rapid, and continuous system is one that combines these high-efficiency, fast-growing plants with an immediate high-concentration source of B12.
Okay, so let's give the ultimate 30-day integrated system takeaway. What is the two-step action plan you can execute starting tomorrow?
Step 1 is to establish continuous layered harvesting. Start new batches of mung bean sprouts. They're ready in 5 to 7 days, and broccoli microgreens, ready in 10 to 14 days every few days. This just ensures you always have fresh, mineral-rich greens coming in. Step 2, use fortified nutritional yeast daily, 1 to 2 tablespoons. That's your absolute B12 insurance policy. You just sprinkle it right over the fresh sprouts.
And the benefit recap here. This setup ensures we hit every single one of our nutritional targets.
It ensures a robust intake of essential trace minerals, iron, zinc, copper, selenium from those dense microgreens, and you combine that with complete B vitamins, including bioavailable B12 and folate. And it does all of this within a reliable, rapid production cycle. The wait time is just a few days from seed to plate.
We saw so clearly that the richest B12 sources, the shellfish, the organ meats, they have incredible nutrient density, but they're just wholly impractical for rapid home production. And on the other hand, the fastest options rely heavily on either natural bacterial presence or industrial fortification. It raises a fascinating question about our modern food challenges. How does nutritional science truly balance the need for the absolute highest nutrient density with the need for immediate, accessible, and rapid food production? Something for you to mull or explore on your own.
Indeed.
Thanks for joining us for the deep dive.